Okay, we back in the mix at Uncuffed Playlist, man. It's the host that does the most, man. It's DJ exclusive. And what you just heard was that Rags to Riches by Rod Wave. You heard that All My Life by Lil Durk and J. Cole. And the first song you heard was that God Did by DJ Khaled, man. Because anything I ever accomplished in life, you know, first and foremost, I always give thanks to God, man. But I want to take y'all back, man, to 2016 when I was sentenced and convicted for my case, right? So I'm sitting in the courtroom and sitting in front of the judge waiting to be sentenced, right? And as I'm sitting there, you know, I look back in the audience, you know, my mom's back there. My sister Rio, she back there too. And one thing about them, you know, they always made sure they came to every court date I had, man. And I really appreciate them for that, man, because when you're going through something like that, you need that kind of support. And also, the female I was messing with at the time, she was sitting back there too. And this was the first court date she ever showed up to, but she was back there. And so when the judge getting ready to sentence me and give me my sentence, you know, he looked at me, and you know the long speech they give you right before they finna give you your sentence, they get to talking to you. So I'm just sitting there waiting, man. It seemed like it's taking them forever to finally get to the sentence. I'm waiting on, you know, heart pumping, mind running 100 miles per hour. You know what I'm saying? I was facing like 35 years or something like that. So, you know, I'm just waiting for him to tell me what I'm finna be doing. So he eventually get around to tell me my sentence. He like, oh, I'm sentencing you to 21 years in state prison. And as soon as he said that, I instantly hear a loud scream coming from behind me in the audience. So I turn around and I look back, and it was the female I was messing with at the time. She back there crying hysterically loud, man. And her name was Antoinette, by the way. But then I look over at my mom's and my little sister, and, you know, I just shake my head, and, you know, I tell them I love them, man, because, you know, I'm finna have to do this time, right? But next thing you know, man, I'm being escorted out the courtroom back into the holding tanks. And first thing I do when I get back there to the holding tanks is, you know, I get on the payphone and I call my mom's, right? And, you know, I know mom, she going through it because she should heard me get sent. So I know she going through it. But when I call her, you know, I try to uplift her and let her know it's good. I'm like, Mom, look, don't trip, man. I know they said 21 years, but, you know, I should be out by like 2024. It ain't, you know, I'll be out. I'll be home soon. You know, I just didn't want her out there stressing out because, you know, my big bro, he already in the pen doing time. So now me too. So I know she going through it. But I'm like, I don't even know where I got 2024. That just came out of thin air. But I'm like, I'll be home. Moms, don't trip. You know, it's going to be good. But then when I get off the phone with her, I call old girl I was messing with at the time, and I tell her the same thing. I'm like, look, I'm finna be gone. I'm finna have to do this time, but I know they said 21 years, but I'll be home by 2024. Just, is you gonna rock this time out with me or what? But knowing me and the lifestyle I was living when I was on the streets, I knew that all that stuff was gone, man. You know, the money, the cars, the women, everything I had, I knew that was coming to an end. So in the back of my mind, deep down, I already knew she was gonna be gone. And about a couple weeks after that, you know, I was right. She was gone in the wind. She left. Finally, I get to prison, and, you know, I start doing my time. I made it to Sentinella level 4 yard, and you know, I'm up there. You know, typical prison stuff. You know, the write-ups, the fights, the riots, you know, just the typical stuff that happens in prison. You know what I'm saying? I'm going through that, you know, I'm on a level 4 yard. I met a few different females along the journey, you know what I'm saying? Just being in there, you know, I didn't have nobody, so just meeting a few different females. And I ain't gonna lie, every time I always met somebody new, I always told them the same thing. I always like, man, I'll be home in 2024, man, I'm coming home. You know what I'm saying? I never really told them my actual date, because it's like, I always thought like, man, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna have to do that anyways. It's like I was starting to believe in my mind that was my actual date, 20, because I kept saying it so much. I started to believe it myself, right? I remember this one time I was on the phone with my friend Samantha, right? Real good friend of mine, man. We go all the way back to like middle school days, you know what I'm saying? Gompers Middle School and all that. And we sitting there, we having a conversation, and she was like, man, Ulis, you been gone for a minute. Like, when you coming home? And I'm like, man, I'll be home about 2024. And she was like, man, I looked on the little jail website and it said you coming home in 2032. And it hit me and I'm like, that's my real release date right there. But I'm like, you know what? I'm not gonna have to do that. I'll be home. You know what I'm saying? I got the mindset to where I'll be up out of here. And she told me, she like, man, I like that about you, man. You always got that good energy, man. You always positive every time I talk to you, man. So keep that energy, and you know, you're gonna be out of there real soon, right? And by this time, you know, I was already starting to do good in prison. You know, I had started to change up my, you know, I got tired of getting in trouble and all that. So, you know, I started to doing like the little self-help groups, the college classes, you know what I'm saying? All the stuff to try to, you know, get my life together, man. I was tired of getting in this trouble. But I always remain optimistic, man, about me coming home and my future, right? So fast forward, 2020, like the pandemic came, you know, the lockdown, the whole world shut down. You know, and in the midst of all that, you know, they started to change like the regulations of the prisons and, you know, the laws and all that type stuff. They had it to where, you know, when you good behavior, they changed it from like 80 to 66 to 50%, like all the little stuff, right? So I remember one day I'm sitting in a cell. I was working out, matter of fact. I'm in a cell with my homie Poppin'. I'm in there working out, and you know, they was doing mail call. The police walk past and they give me the little paper through the door. When I get the paper, I look at it, and wouldn't you believe this, man? It said Morris parole date 2024. I'm like, damn, that's crazy. Like, it was a shock to me because the whole time I'm telling people 2024, and for me to get this paper in the mail and it say 2024, it was like, man. So when I seen that, man, first thing I do is I look up to God and I say, thank you, God. Cause I knew, man, this is what I've been saying the whole time. Like, this is what I've been wishing for, man. It's like, you know, I manifested my destiny, man, like I thought I would, man. I know that's a trip, man, but that's my reality, man. That's what happened. But right now, I'm gonna switch it up for y'all. I'm gonna give y'all a little bit of this old school real quick, you know, change the vibe, give y'all some of that love music real quick. And when I come back, I'm gonna tell y'all another story, so stay tuned. This next song I'm gonna play for y'all is that good old Computer Love by Zapp and Roger. This DJ exclusive, and you listening to the Uncuffed playlist.